Look, these are our kids. You can't keep telling us you can't do things. We know that can be done. We know it's done in other schools. Why isn't it done in our communities?
Que la educación buena no solamente sea para unos cuantos niños, ¿sí? Que la educación sea buena para todos.
To make sure that every child in this city has the privilege and the right to education.
And the United Federation of Teachers will not be the ones to break this commitment.
The middle grade schools our children are attending are failing them.
Who are you?
CJ is a real model in that way of how to do very good grassroots-led community organizing work to improve education.
We opted to ask representatives from CC9 to sit with the UFT at the bargaining table.
You are the grassroots leaders of our great city. You push the system in the right direction.
They could tell us whether the solutions we're talking about were going to work in their neighborhoods, in their children's school.
Equal opportunity to succeed in college and career is the racial and economic issue of today.
And remember that a people united will never be defeated. A people united will never be defeated.
The organizations that came together to create CEJ had real alignment in terms of who should be the drivers of change in communities. Ordinary people that know the real problems and ordinary people that actually have ideas about what the solutions should look like. When we came together to create CEJ, one of the first things that took place was actually a retreat that brought together leaders from each organization to meet each other and to actually explore what are the issues that bring us together.
In that initial retreat, the need to dramatically improve the city's middle schools as the critical platform for high school and college success emerged as the focus of CEJ's first campaign.
Children did really well in 3rd grade, less well in 4th, and by the time they got to 8th grade or the middle grades, it was a mudslide, and that the average child, no matter how smart he or she was, entered high school 1 or more grades behind.
When we looked at the statistic, only 1 out of 3 kids was reading at grade level. Seeing those numbers and understanding those statistics was a real wake-up moment.
The speakers, Christine Quinn, Speaker of the City Council, we were successful in setting up a meeting with her. She said, middle school is my baby, and I've been trying to figure out a way to make it work.
Once you meet with the CEJ leadership, it's very clear that they are parents, but they're also backed up by research. So it's kind of a great amalgam of the different pieces of what you need to get things done.
She stood with us at a press conference another cold winter day and said, we need to do something about middle school.
At the rally, CEJ issued a report demonstrating the systemic failure of middle school education, particularly for African American and Latino students, and recommended comprehensive changes. The rally also announced the formation of the City Council's Middle School Task Force, with 2 CEJ leaders, Carol Boyd and Zakia Ansari, among its members.
CEJ really was kind of the real-life compass of the task force, if you will, because they could tell us whether the solutions we're talking about were going to work in their neighborhoods, in their children's school.
We never lost sight of who we were, why we were there, and what was in our initial platform. Because of how we operate at CEJ, there was constant reporting back to the body at large saying, this is where we are, where do we go now?
At the press conference after the Middle School Task Force released its report, the mayor, the City Council Speaker, and the Chancellor announced their response. A middle grades initiative that allocated $5 million to implement the task force recommendations in 51 poorly performing middle schools.
Let me just say that you are the grassroots leaders of our great city. And in fact, you push the system in the right direction.
I'm pleased to welcome you to the Abyssinian Baptist Church. I'm pleased that we are able to host this gathering led by the Coalition for Educational Justice. And it is the responsibility not only of us, but the responsibility of the city of New York to make sure that every child in this city has the privilege and the right to education.
Familiar chants in a new setting. From 5th Avenue and 59th Street to 93rd Street and Park Avenue, protesters shouted their complaints in the shadows of luxury buildings, stopping at the homes of major bankers.
Unemployed, been downsized.
Joe Hernandez got laid off twice, and after 2 years of looking, he says no one is hiring. Joe's struggle here is not a solitary one.
There's no jobs around at all. Anywhere you look.
This Joe joined others who came from upstate with the same message.
The millionaires aren't paying their fair share of taxes.
Community groups helped organize this march in conjunction with Occupy Wall Street. Unlike Zuccotti Park, the crowd here was older and had a more focused message, specifically looking for the extension of the state's so-called millionaires tax, the highest income tax bracket of people making more than $500,000 a year, set to expire at the end of this year.
We need to create jobs. The top 2% have the wealth, right? They have been responsible for the issues around the economy. They have the power to fix it.